listening to Jai Long, and this is Make Your Break. Whether you're a big-hearted creative or an aspiring entrepreneur, let's take action on your dreams, reconnecting you with your why and giving you the how. I'm here to dish out actionable mindset tips and fun industry secrets to help you blow up your biz. From eye-opening reality checks to motivational gold, no two episodes are ever the same. So tune in weekly, skip the FOMO, and let's dive into the deep together. Hey, do you talk about risk very often in your family, with your friends, with your co-workers, with your mentor, with your coach, with your peers? I'd love to hear about how you talk about risk and what you think about risk. In this episode, I want to talk a little bit about risk. I want to talk about your risk tolerance, and more specific, I want to talk about how in 2021 and moving forward, it's more risky to try and play it safe than it is to be risky. Now, in business, so often we try and play it safe. We try and keep safe. We think about, we don't want too much risk. We don't want to extend ourselves out there where it's risky and it's uncomfortable because something might go wrong. But I've been talking about this since my first workshop in 2015. If anyone here has been to my workshop before, they know that I always talk about risk. It's more risky to play safe. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if it comes down to your money. Doesn't matter if it comes down to your dreams, if it comes down to your marketing, if it comes down to your education, if it comes down to your self-development. Man, if you're playing safe, it's risky. So today's episode, I'm going to keep pretty short. If you haven't left me a podcast review yet, please do. You can do it on the Apple Podcast app. I love going through. I read the reviews every single week, and me and the team have a high five and we go through and we read them and share it with each other. So please leave us a review. If you can do that, it not only helps us, but it also helps people trying to find the podcast. And if you want to say hi, just head over to my Instagram, which is @jailong.co. And if you want any resources or any help, you can go over to my website, which is jailong.co. So let's get into it because I don't have too much time today and I just want to stop in. I want to check in and I want to talk about risk. I think one thing that's really important that we need to address right now is so many people say you need money to make money, right? You've probably heard this before. There's so many stupid sayings out there that keep us playing so small. Like you need money to make money. You need to diversify. Don't leave all your eggs in one basket. You know, it's all about mediating risk and trying to play it safe. Now, with income, with making more money, with playing a bigger game, it's not about having money, because if you had more money, usually most people play it safe, and that's why they limit the amount of money that they have. So for instance, if you're like, oh, I'd love to make $10,000 a year. When you get to $10,000, you're going to start playing it safe because now you've got something to lose. If you're thinking you want to make $100,000 a year, notice how people, when they hit their goal, they stop making income. They stop expanding because they stop taking risks. And that's where the money is. If you want to make $1 million a year, chances are you probably know someone that makes $1 million a year. And why don't they keep making income? Why don't they make 10 million, right? Because once we hit a goal, once we hit a milestone and we feel comfortable, then we start putting on those brakes and we start mediating risk because we start trying not to lose, right? We start playing defense instead of offense. We are thinking, I don't want to lose 100,000 or I don't want to lose the million. Instead of how can I grow the next 100,000? How can I grow the next million? So I've got to say, to make money, to make big things happen in your life, it takes courage. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes courage to make money. I'm telling you right now. I've seen this over and over, and I've debated with people because people don't believe me. No, man, if you got money, you make money, right? Hey, I started with no money and I make money. I lose my money all the time and I go all in and I make my money back. I'd love to share a couple of little stories, but in the last 12 months, and in particular in the last month, I actually have basically lost everything. And I had to work so hard to make everything back so quickly because I started extending myself out there. I was making bigger moves. I made a 7-figure business and I was like, you know what? We need to expand. We need to hire more people. We need to buy more equipment. We need a studio. We need these things because I'm not here trying to save the money that I've already made in the past. I'm here trying to make new money for my future, right? And so to do that, I need to expand how I think. I need to expand my horizon. I need to expand and take bigger action on exactly what I love doing. Too many of us think that we think, once we have some sort of success, we're going to retire. And then you're going to give up the very thing that got you the success in the first place, the thing that made you happy, your passion, your dreams. And I don't believe this for a second. I don't believe that, once I hit a milestone or unrealistic goal, that I'm just going to give up and that's it. I need to keep going on my purpose. And that's why I've got so much energy. It's why that I feel like I'm going to live for a long time, because I'm here and I'm living every single day with purpose. So just going back to the risky thing right now, and this is a mindset shift. If you're thinking, hey Jai, I'm going to play it safe. And then because of that, I shouldn't lose much and that I might not gain much, but it's all going to be good. Now think about this. I've got a lot of friends that are, they're millionaires. They've made good money throughout their careers and they've never taken on the advice of the population. So the population's always like diversify. They say diversify, don't leave everything in one basket. And what I noticed is the people that get any kind of tremendous amounts of success, and I'm talking monetary success here, they've always gone all in on one thing. Now think about this. If you diversify, if you're thinking, I'd love to diversify, maybe I need to start a few more businesses, or I'm going to invest, maybe I need to invest in shares and in Bitcoin and in a timeshare and in apartments, and I'm going to get some offices and things like that. All of a sudden, you need to pay the experts, right? Because you're no longer the expert in all these things. So you need to pay the experts. So it's no wonder that the experts always tell you that it's too risky to be all in on one thing. They're always telling you that. Now, if I look back throughout history and I look at if you just invested in one thing, you'd probably make a lot of money if you just doubled down. So many of us, if we have $100 and we're putting, let's say $5 into a whole bunch of different things, into 20 different things, then if one thing makes some money, sure, but you only made money with $5. Like you didn't make much money. Now imagine if you put $100 into something and then you doubled down and learnt that thing. Like you learnt it inside out and you understood it, you believed in it. You knew the market cycles. I believe $100, you're going to make more of an impact, right? Hey, and if you lose $100, just do it again. Do it again next year. Do it again the year after. You can keep going, especially if you're young, if you're in your 50s, your 40s, your 30s, your 20s, you're a teenager right now, and you're trying to mediate risk. Man, you're playing such a small game with yourself. You're playing such a small game. Okay, so that's financial, but think about this. Let's talk about education. I know, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, because people have said to me lately, like, Jai, I didn't want to risk signing up to your course, right? I didn't want to put myself out there and I didn't want to risk it. And it blows my mind for a few different reasons. But one is because I'm like, man, how can you risk not growing? How can you risk not knowing? You risk right now not learning something new. You risk being left behind. You risk playing catch up. You risk being out-innovated by everybody else around you, right? That's hungry, that's growing, that's investing in themselves, that's learning, that's reading, that's being in a new room. That's what you stand at risk. So when I think that what's the risk is like what you risk maybe paying a little bit of money or risk a little bit of time or something, I look at what you risk to lose, right? And I think not too many of us think like this. So with your education, with your self-development, hey, if you read one book a year, which most people, they did a survey in the US and they say the majority of people read one book or less per year. Man, you risk being out-innovated by the person that reads 52 books a year, right? Someone else that's reading a book a week, you're going to be left behind. I think about this all the time. That's why I'm always reading books. I read books every single day, have done for years and years and years. That's how I can keep progressing, keep working on my mindset, keep pushing out that imposter syndrome, keep my mental health because I keep reading, right? Now, I want you to be thinking about these things. Now, here's a huge one, and this one here kills me, absolutely kills me. When you try and play it safe with marketing. Too many of us, I hear people say, hey, Jai, I'm just trying to keep underneath the radar. I'm just trying to scoot past and nobody sees me, nobody notices me, And look, I get it. With marketing, it's against human nature to try and stand out. We're herd animals, right? We want to stay the same as everybody else. We don't want to stand out because once you stand out of line, then people can criticize you, people can bring you down, people can call you names. You put yourself out there and you're vulnerable. Now, we don't like to be vulnerable. We like to be in control and we like to have the cards stacked in our favor. Now, with marketing, I know it goes against human nature, but we're not here trying to play it safe. We're not here trying to go under the radar. We're trying to actually expand. We want to stand out. That's what you want to do with marketing. That's what it's all about. It's about standing out. Imagine standing out so people take notice. They turn their heads when they see your business. They turn their heads when they see you and your passion and your work, and they see what you're doing, and they marvel at it. Oh my God, that person. It took a lot of risk. It took a lot of courage to put yourself out there like that, right? If you go underneath the radar, no one can help you either. If you're joining a course, if you're in a room with people and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go under the radar. Hey, there's no opportunities under the radar. I'm telling you that right now. If you're the type of person that's introverted and you, by no means necessary, you won't extrovert yourself out into the world, hey, nothing's happening in your lounge room. You know what happens in your kitchen. Nothing, right? You need to get out. You need to get out into the world and go meet those people. I don't care if it's in person or if you're in lockdown or if you're afraid of COVID or if you can't travel somewhere. Get online, get into new rooms, get into new forums, get into new Facebook groups. Go find those people. Go reach out to someone that you admire on Instagram. Put yourself out there. Get risky. What is the worst case scenario? You reach out to one of your idols that you love on Instagram just to say, hey, I can't believe what you do. I admire what you do. I love it. You give me so much power, so much energy, so much motivation, so much creativity. I love the work that you make. I've been admiring you from afar. I mean, what is the risk? They're not going to get back to you? Hey, too many people, they don't want to risk themselves in marketing because they don't want to risk themselves looking like an idiot, okay? Now, for me, I always say, hey, I would rather look like an idiot than fail. I would rather look like an idiot in front of other people than look like an idiot for myself because I didn't take a risk, right? I care more about what I think than what I think other people think about me. Now, that's the most important thing. I'm not going to go throughout my life and think, oh man, like what if I just did a more crazy post or reached out to someone or put myself out there, I think imagine if I didn't do it because I was too scared. Imagine if I didn't take a risk and I tried to go underneath the radar. If you want to blow your shit up, what do you think that means? It means you need to get more eyes on your stuff. You need to increase your prices. You need to expand. You need to grow. You need the abundance. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm been harping on about for the last 2 years in my podcast so far. You're here right now because I've been podcasting for 2 years. Why am I doing that? I risk looking like an idiot. I risk mispronouncing words. I risk saying something stupid. But for me, I'm like, man, it's worth the risk because it's me, what I believe, what I think about myself, not what my listeners think about me. Because if I didn't risk it, hey, I know that's why I didn't have the success, right? I didn't have the success that other people had because I wasn't willing to do what they would do or even what they were not willing to do. Because if I'm willing to do what they're not willing to do, then I know I'm going to get a lot of success. And you've got to think the same. You've got to show up like that. Now with marketing, I just want to push this home. Too many of us, we say we don't want to risk getting on Facebook ads because we might waste some money. Well, I don't want to risk getting on Instagram and saying something stupid or putting out a video. I don't want to risk showing my face. I don't want to risk showing my work. I don't want to risk it, Jai. I'm trying to go under the radar. It's all good. Don't want the followers. Don't want the money. Don't want the income. Don't want the problems, okay? When you get yourself out there and you're doing more risky things, yeah, there's going to be more problems. But I've got to say, it's better having big, awesome, risky problems than it is having the same small problems all the time, If I walk into my studio and it's the same small problem, how do we get some Instagram followers? If we're saying that, man, we're playing too small. We need to get past that. Let's get too many Instagram followers so I can't get even back to all my DMs. Let's blow it up, With my business map, with my courses and stuff like that, too often I'm like, holy shit, we've got too many clients now. That's the kind of problems I want to have, not where do I get my clients from? That's not the problem I want to have. That's a small problem. I want big problems. Last week, there was too many people inside the business map and not everyone could get into the Zoom call for the mastermind. That's a new problem. That's an awesome problem. I risked it. That's a big risk that I took. Too many people came in. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm in a new territory. It's awesome. What a cool problem, right? When my team was freaking out, people are writing to me, can't get in. There's too many people in the Zoom call, Jai. You're going to have to upgrade your Zoom. Cool. That's a new problem. Never had that happen before. Wow. You know what I'm saying? You need those new problems. Get out there, take a risk. I'm telling you. Next thing I want to talk about, because just touched on this, it was too many people say, I don't want to waste. Okay, I'm not going to risk it because I don't want to waste. I don't want to hire someone because I don't want to waste a little bit of money that I had them and then maybe they didn't turn out to be good. I don't want to waste my time posting something new on Instagram, like maybe it's a reel, maybe it's a video, because I don't want no one to see it. It's a waste. I think it's too risky not to waste. You need to start wasting. Live in abundance. Stop saving. Start wasting. Okay? This is completely different advice than anyone else I've ever heard say in the space with business, with money, with all that kind of stuff. And I've got to tell you, man, if you want to learn how to make money, you got to start wasting. Wasting so you can start seeing what not to do next and what you need to double down on. Because if you just go off the old stories that you've got, or if you go off even worse, if you go off the stories of your friends that failed in the past and you believe that their truth is your truth, man, you're playing a small game, right? Oh, that person there, they hired someone, they said it wasn't good. They hired a VA and it wasn't good. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to risk it. Get out there and waste it. It might work for you. Who knows? You don't know until you actually put yourself out there. You put your money where your mouth is and you double down in your business and you take a risk. You waste that money. Waste it, okay? I know so many people are going to absolutely hate me for saying this, but I've got to say, what are you saving for? If you're not trying to save to blow up your business, if you're not trying to create opportunities for other people, if you're not trying to get your art in front of the people that love what you do, what are you saving for? Most people, we try and save until we die, right? One day I'm going to buy a motorhome and that's it. One day I'm going to be able to retire. Man, live today. Live for your business right now. Get the momentum going. I think like when I talk about drive and I talk about driving, you got your drive, right? And you need to keep stopping and putting gas in your car. I mean, that's just what you got to do. You can't save and coast along and try and, go down the hills. You have to keep stopping, put more gas in your car if you want to go further. And that's a little analogy there. But like if you want more motivation, you want more creativity, you need to put gas into your business. You need to be investing in yourself. You need to be investing in your marketing. You need to invest in your team. You need to start wasting to see what works. You need to blow your shit up. That's what it's all about. We're expanding. We're growing. We're taking over. That's what we're doing. Because when everybody else is scared of COVID, when everybody else is scared of expanding and wasting, you're going to win the game because you're out there and you are trying new things with your marketing. You are advertising now. You're spending more time on social media. You're not trying to fit in. You're trying to stand out. You're doing something completely different. You're not trying to curate your Instagram account like everybody else so it looks as good as everybody else's because you realize that, hey man, if everybody else is doing it, I'm just going to fit in, aren't I? It's time to stand out. You're not going to name your business the same as everybody else's name because you're going to realize that you look around and go, oh man, everybody's naming the same. It's the same business name, just swapped around a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it. I'm going to blow my shit up. I'm going to stand out. So please, if you take anything from this, it's like you've got to take risks and you've got to start wasting. You need to waste. Now, let's go. Social media. Too many of us, we play it so safe. Jai, I need to be on all the social medias, right? Let's get on social media and let's just do a little bit for everybody. In fact, you know what we should do? We should just outsource it to someone else and they can post. Just so I'm on there because everyone else is on there. I need to be on there. The problem is you're not taking any kind of risk. You're not putting in your work. You're not putting on your words. You're not posting your work. You're outsourcing. You're not showing up your true potential. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be watered down results from everybody else that's actually putting in the work. There's no shortcuts in life. I'm telling you right now, the people that have the courage to take the risk to post something different, something innovative, something emotive, something transparent, something vulnerable, they're the ones that are going to win. You're just posting to fill the air, to fill the void, right? You're trying to play it safe, trying to fit in. I'm telling you, social media, I actually believe the same. Like before I was talking about all in on one thing instead of diversify. I don't believe like that you should have eggs in every basket. I actually think you should go all in on one basket, right? Now think about it like this. I've seen, and you've probably seen, when people have tremendous amounts of success on social media, they usually get it from one platform. So maybe it's from TikTok, and they get on TikTok and they learn the platform inside and out. They know how people interact with that platform. They know what kind of content and how it needs to be packaged up and posted on that actual platform, and they dominate. Same as Instagram. The people that are on Instagram, I bet you they're barely on Facebook, right? People that dominate on Facebook, they got all the big Facebook followers. They show up live on Facebook all the time. They probably suck on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube. The people that dominate on YouTube, it doesn't mean they're great on Instagram. The people that are great on Instagram might not be great on YouTube. Now, what's my point? My point is the people that absolutely dominate are the ones that go an inch wide and a mile deep instead of a mile wide and an inch deep. They learn the platform. They learn one platform until they totally understand it, and then they dominate it. And then once they do that, of course, they can spread across other platforms because their followers are going to find them. But if you're spreading yourself too thin and you're just posting for the sake of posting, you got no idea what you should be posting or what people interact with, what people are going to leave a comment on or like or engage with. If you got no idea, it's because you haven't put in the time. You haven't actually wasted a bit of time on that platform. You haven't looked around at what other people have done and done something different. You haven't taken a chance on yourself to stand out yet, right? If you have a look around at all the Instagram accounts I've watched over the years, the people that have decided to stand out have blown up so quickly. Look at the guy dude with the sign, and he stands around with a sign. He's blowing up. Millions of followers. There was another one, I'm not sure if anyone remembers this, but there was a Barbie doll that dressed up as a photographer in the far northwest. I think she had 1 million followers in a couple of months. Couldn't believe it. I mean, I could, because they did something different, completely different. They stood out. No one else was doing it. So if you get on your Instagram and you get on your marketing and you're thinking, oh man, I'm just going to post across everything because some of the experts told me I've got to be on every single platform. Remember, get on one platform. Just get on the one that works the best for you. Get your tribe there. And then once you blow up on there, then you can bring people across to other platforms because they're going to follow across, You're going to learn, once you learn one platform, you're going to learn how your content can work on other platforms, right? If you do a post on Instagram, maybe you're going to learn how you can make it work on LinkedIn. Maybe you're going to make it work on Pinterest. Maybe you're going to be able to turn it into a video and put it on YouTube or YouTube Shorts. Maybe you're going to be able to sit there and read it out on Clubhouse. I don't know. Maybe you're going to get onto Discord. I don't know where you're going to be, right? Maybe you're going to be on a Facebook group. Maybe you're going to do Facebook Lives. Maybe you're going to do YouTube Lives. There is so many ways to put our content out there in the world. So get obsessed of learning something, going in, an inch wide, mile deep. Learn it. Be risky. I think that's absolutely enough for you today, because I know I've just been really cramming this home, but it's something that I don't think people see. I think for myself, I've had big success because I've had big failures. And I always say my success is my willingness to do and fail. Now, what does that mean? It means if I put on a workshop and let's say no one shows up, hey man, I'm still so successful. Why? Because I put myself out there and I created the workshop. Now, imagine if I did a workshop and then everyone came to my studio and they were here for 2 days and they walked away and they hated it and they all gave me bad reviews. You know what? I would be successful in my own eyes, because I'm while you guys were just, here at my workshop, I was putting myself out there. I was vulnerable. I was standing out. I sold tickets. What were you doing, right? And yeah, maybe it didn't work out to be the best thing ever. And I can improve, of course. I'm not here trying to say that I'm the best ever. I'm saying that I'm putting myself out there and I'm willing to risk. I'm willing to look stupid in front of people all the time. People don't do Facebook ads. Go, I don't want to look stupid. Don't want to stand out. I'm man, put me on there. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with my goals. I want my dreams. These things are big enough for me to put myself out there because I want to feel good about myself. I don't care what other people think about me, right? If I'm going all in, people write to me all the time, Jai, I fucking hate seeing your Facebook ads. Stop posting them. Don't you think you're posting too much? You post too much on Instagram. You post too many ads. I see them all the time. Man, I'm ready to turn them up. I'm going to start posting more often, because you are not posting too often because you're thinking, I don't want to annoy anyone. I don't want to risk annoying anybody. I don't want to risk annoying my followers. I'm going to post once a week, once a day, twice a day. I know people that post twice a day and they think they post all the time. And I'm like, man, you need to get on it. If you want to actually blow your stuff up, get out there. Stand out. Annoy people. At least if you annoy people, they're going to talk about you, right? People that I annoy with my Facebook ads and maybe there's too many emails going out. Hey, they're talking about me. They're not talking about you. They're talking about me. You're talking about me, right? If I start posting on my podcast 3 times a day, maybe, you're going to talk about me. So that's standing out. I want you to really think about it. Go all in, play it risky, because I'm telling you right now, in 2021, trying to play it safe is the most risky thing you can do in business. You are risking your business. And I say this all the time, the market is just oversaturated for average, for mediocre, for normal, for people trying to go under the radar. You need to stand out. Be relentless, be yourself, be unapologetic. Understand that it's your opinion of yourself that matters the most, right? That's what matters. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you love this podcast episode, you can share it on Instagram at jailong.co. Make sure you tag me so I can reshare it, give you some love. And as always, you can get into my DMs. Make sure I don't want too many people blowing up my DMs, so I've got more problems, right? I want to have that problem. People always say, Jai, how do you get back to all your DMs? Man, I love my people. I love people that reach out to me. I can't get enough of it. I love it. And yeah, maybe I don't have enough time. That's okay. I'm going to work out a solution to my problem. I don't mind. Love it. So make sure you reach out on my Instagram and say hello, slide into my DMs because I want to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to see you next week.